What is going on, you guys? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. Today we're going to be reviewing the Razer Orbweaver, which is a one-handed keyboard by, yes indeed, Razer. You're probably wondering, Kevin, why the hell is that thing not in a box? We're not doing an unboxing? No, we're not. Razer has not produced these for a long time. So this came out in January of 2013, and then a couple of years later they came out with what was called the Orbweaver Chroma, which was virtually the same exact one-handed keyboard, except it had full chroma RGB lighting, as where this just has a green backlight that you can turn off or dim it, but it's lime green, so there's that. But with RGB out of the way, this has some really kick-ass features. I've been using the hell out of this thing for about 2 or 3 months now. I actually got this for free from a coworker slash friend, so thank you, Jacob. I play the shit out of this thing. It's gotten plenty of finger play. I have reviewed the Razer Tartarus V2 and the Razer Tartarus Pro on this channel. Those are the two current models offered by Razer in the one-handed keyboard department. This has some really kick-ass features that I wish the current offerings in one-handed keyboards from Razer had, like the Tartarus Pro and the Tartarus V2. And I kind of want them to bring back the Orbweaver with some more modern, updated features, like maybe a Orbweaver Ultimate or V2 would be really kick-ass. So without further ado, let's get over here and, well, not unbox it, but let's review this bad boy. Alrighty guys, over here at the Stormtrooper desktop, as always, I'm going to go ahead and slab myself on in here so we can talk about the Razer Orbweaver. So I do also have the Tartarus V2 and the Tartarus Pro over here. I am going to be doing a separate comparison video going over all the differences between these three models here. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video when it comes out. But the Razer Orbweaver, so like I mentioned, this came out on January 2013. Kind of took the gaming scene by storm because, you know, first-person shooters on PC were kind of taking off around that time. They had been in existence for a while, but there hadn't really been any good one-handed keyboards. I think Logitech had one out, but it was a big old sloppy Sanchez. The buttons felt like you were fingering a jar of mayonnaise. It just wasn't great. So, yeah, this bad boy here hit the scene. You know, Razer was really taking off with their computer peripherals, and they got into the one-handed keyboard game for those first-person shooters, so you could have all that mouse space to, you know, snap aim and all that good stuff. Also, some people do use these for MMOs because even though there's not a lot of keys here, you can actually, you know, preset this button here or this button here if you want to. You know, generally that's spacebar for jump. But anyway, you can set this button here to change presets on the fly. So you press this and all of a sudden all these do a different, are remapped to different functionality. Press it again, you know, these lights will illuminate showing you what profile you're on, what onboard profile. There are 3 onboard profiles that you can switch from on the fly, which is really kick-ass. So jumping right into some of the features of it, you have a 6-foot cable, which is much shorter than the 10-footers that come on modern peripherals. It's not braided or microfibered or anything like that. It's just a USB 2.0 plug and a plain old rubber cable there. 6 feet should be good enough for you to get to the back of your tower, hopefully. The buttons are absolutely fantastic. These have the Razer Blues in them, if I do recall correctly. So the switches feel absolutely fantastic. This has the Razer Blues, which are pretty quiet in my opinion. They're almost as quiet as the Razer Purples. Obviously the keycaps make them substantially louder because it kind of echoes inside that hollow plastic, but still, they're not necessarily loud. You know, I've streamed with this keyboard and nobody was complaining about hearing this in the background. I mean, I guess that's kind of expected that you're going to hear mechanical keyboard and mouse noises in the background anyway. But yeah, the keys feel absolutely fantastic. I also do like the design of the keyboard itself because it is kind of curved, as you can see here. Like this top row is curved downwards and this back row is curved pretty aggressively forwards, and then the 2 center rows are just ever so slightly curved, and this actually allows your fingertips to move quite quickly across there. I never feel like I'm struggling to find a button or anything like that, and I really do like the spacebar design on here. I think it's actually a lot better than what's offered on the, actually works a lot better than the new spacebar design on the Tartarus Pro and the Tartarus V2. They're not bad, but this definitely feels a lot better to me. It feels a lot more sturdy, and it feels quicker to react. I mean, this has like, I don't know. It's also substantially quieter too, if that matters to you for anything. You have a programmable button up here, and then you also have a 8-way D-pad right here, which is also mechanical. That's some good ASMR. So that's really cool. You can program that to 8 different functionalities there. And here's one of the coolest features, in my opinion, that the Orbweaver has that the new generation Razer one-handers do not have, and that is full adjustability. All these have is you pop off this little thing right here, and you have two different placements that you can put this thing. You can put it here or here. You can put it here or here. Here or here. I like it a little bit further like that. But that's it. That's the only adjustability you have. This has 3 points of adjustability, and it's extremely adjustable. So, by pulling this metal pin right here, you can actually adjust the angle of this wrist, or this palm rest right here, which makes a huge difference. I mean, it might not look like a lot of adjustability, but that little bit of adjustment right there actually puts your wrist at like a different angle. This is extremely comfortable rubberized material. This is as well. This can be a little bit softer and more padded, but it's very grippy. And you know, all in all, if your palm is right up against there like that, I mean, I have gamed for hours with this thing with no fatigue whatsoever. So besides that pitch adjustment there, you can also press down this lever right here, and that will expand or contract the actual body. So if you have long, skinny fingers or whatever, you can get this thing kind of further out like that. Actually, I think that's how I usually play with it. Or you can push it in if you have some little sausage fingers, some little Vienna sausages. And then you might think the adjustability's done, but you would be wrong, sir. This actual thumbstick module over here also pushes out and pushes in, which is fucking super cool, because if you like it nice and close to your thumb like that, that feels okay. I'd probably like it out just a little bit more. Let's kick it all the way out. That's way too far, but yeah. You can adjust the thumbstick module too. So 3 points of adjustment there, which I think is absolutely awesome, that you can fine tune and tweak this thing to get it set up for your perfect ergonomics. So between that, great feeling buttons. I love the keyboard design, how it's curved. They still do the same thing with their new keyboards as well. Sorry, I'm just going to set these aside. Separate comparison video, because I have a lot to talk about between these models. The Orbweaver is very hard to find. You can find it on Amazon. I will have a link in the description below, but that link takes you to the Amazon listing, which is all refurbished and third-party companies and used parties that are selling these, as Razer has not made these for a hot minute. They decided to go towards this fuckery over here. So in my opinion, the biggest downside to using the Orbweaver is that you have to use the legacy Razer software. It does not use the Razer Synapse 3 application, which virtually every other Razer product currently uses, so you can't coordinate your RGB lighting with all your other devices, like have it flowing across your keyboard, to your one-handed keyboard, to your mouse, up into your headphones and your headphone stand, and then spin back around with the colors. And cool stuff like that, and you can't use one application to adjust all of your devices. You have to go into a separate app called, it's literally called Razer Legacy. It's for their old products and peripherals that people might still use, like the Orbweaver. And I mean, it's good. You can do the same functionality and same features as the new Synapse. You can remap all of these buttons to a whole slew of features. You can set up macros, which are really awesome, especially if you're playing an MMO or something like that, or even a shooter. You just press one button and you could, like, you know, reload, slide, throw a grenade, and call in air support with like one button. Pretty cool. So honestly, I highly do recommend the Orbweaver if you can get your hands on one. I would scoop up the Orbweaver Chroma, which is virtually the same exact keyboard, but instead of just a green backlight, it has full RGB like the rest of the Razer devices. I think that makes the most sense, and also you can use the updated Razer application. You don't have to use Legacy, which is pretty cool. But all in all, I mean, ergonomics are fantastic, comfort are great. I would say appearance, I mean, obviously cosmetics and appearance is completely subjective, but I think it looks pretty handsome. It's a good looking device or peripheral, in my opinion. I think it looks good on my desk next to my full-size keyboard. The keys feel phenomenal. The Razer Blues, this is the only product that I have that has Razer Blues. I have a lot of other keyboards that I have sitting around from past reviews and stuff that have the greens, the purples. I think Razer makes an orange switch as well. It's kind of between like cherry red MXs and like the greens. But these blues feel really good though. They're relatively quiet, very light. Very light. You hit a nice crisp wall and then you get that break.
And then the rebound's a little soft, like it doesn't like push your finger back up like a nice snap, but that's probably my least favorite thing about the blues is the reset. It's not bad, but it's not great. They feel good though, I mean, all in all, especially because this is like 6 years old. Like, I think my buddy owned this for years. I don't know if he bought it new or pre-owned himself, but you know, this got passed down to me and I fucking love this thing. So, you know, anytime you get something for free that you actually like and enjoy playing with, that's a plus in my book. It's a pretty short book with a lot of pretty pictures. But anyway, yeah, Orbweaver, if you can get your hands on one, I do highly recommend it. I'm not going to say right now that I recommend it over or under one of these guys, because again, I have a separate video coming in the very near future where I will go in depth with the differences, both subtle and more drastic, between these three models from Razer. But yeah, the Orbweaver, I love it. I really do. I've been playing the shit out of it, and she's done me good, boys. She's done me real good. Alright guys, that's going to do it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.